So it's dead.
This is Romeo Oscar 2-5. Is there an available unit
Hello,
for a
pal.
failure stop by any chance?
Pop Tower 2, go ahead.
Yeah, Romeo Oscar 2-5. Stand by for a FDS here. And then we'll take it to a different channel as well.
Alpha 1, we've got a...
Alpha
guy
Delta 1
going
is on
to
free,
you.
although switching call signs to Romeo Sierra 1.
Come on, out the car. See your hands, Phil, don't be daft. Stick your hands up, mate, you're under arrest.
What?
This way, but stick your hands up, mate, don't have to use force.
Look, no, there's no need for this. Oh my god.
Get in
Romeo
cuffs,
Oscar
please.
2-5.
Oh my god.
Cancel that, we have lost the visual.
Right, moment time, you're under arrest for failed stop, police. Do not have to say anything. Me, I'm in defence. If you do not mention when questioned, some of their try court, and if you do say anything. Yes,
Can I
so
go
attempt to
2-5,
pull
yeah,
you
last
over
in,
on
Black
Elgin
Center
Avenue.
Classic around
You then
this
made
region.
off from to try to drive down this alleyway. Necessary arrest of prompt effect
I
SCH,
can
offence, break of
explain
disappearance,
exactly
ascertain your
why
name, ascertain
I
your
sped.
address.
I can explain exactly why I sped.
Okay, let me finish saying this, mate, then you'll have a chance, okay? Okay. I'm going to search our section 32 place. Anything you should know about is to report me or harm me.
Romeo Sierra 1,
Massive
obviously 5.
fat cock.
Yeah, like we
So
don't
you've
do
just
that
got to
10
drive
times a
an
day.
Yeah.
Well, you asked me.
Papa Delta 3 was state bar as well.
Okie dokie.
I'll try 3 as well.
Nothing of interest, lads?
Just remember,
Well, I
guys.
know, is it interesting?
East
Nothing?
side is the
No.
best.
No.
Anything in car?
Not got up to that yet.
Don't look in the car.
What,
Move away
not?
from the car, pal. Go and stand near our car, thank you.
No,
Tower 2, state 6.
I'll look at the run the plate, shall we?
3 state 6.
Come back as no registered keeper.
Oh, okay. I'll be the registered keeper. Wait there. What are you doing? You said there's no registered keeper.
Papa Delta 3 state 6 as well.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to stick you in the car so you stop walking away.
I was about to come back and say that I will be the registered keeper if there's none.
Well, why will you be the registered keeper? Is it your car?
Well, yeah.
Okay, then where's your V5 form and the rest of the documents?
If you take me to my house, I'll get them.
Okay, well, what's your name, mate? Let's see if we can find you on the database.
The name is Ali G.
Ali G, how are you spelling that, please?
A-L-I. And
We'll check that out for us.
The
What's that,
surname
then?
is
We've got one in custody. He pulled a
for,
firearm, but he's been detained.
what begins with G? The German.
Everything under control, yeah?
E.
He pointed gun at officer, but we got him.
Ali G, okay,
We've
Mr.
got
G.
a PIC at the back of the machine at the moment.
You say you own a vehicle, you own a house.
No worries.
Yeah, I own a house.
What's the address?
It's down in the Vargos.
Okay, do you not know what your own address is?
Well,
Your own house number?
house number is 1612. I remember.
1612.
I remember that.
You say name's Ali G, A-L-I-G-E-E. Correct.
I think so.
That not spelled L-E-G.
What's that spell?
Okay, do you own any vehicles, Mr. G?
No, so the reason why I was driving right, is one of the boys, he got me third-party fire and theft insurance on one of the gang cars, you know, and apparently that entitles me to drive it under third-party fire and theft on other vehicles as well, which is why I took that one. So my insurance should cover it.
So do you own that vehicle, or what's the deal with it?
Oh, well, it's from the Vargos. It's one of the boys, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which
Who?
is why I'm
What's
saying
your? What's
you
the
know,
boy's name?
What's the boy's name?
Yeah. What's the
Thomas.
owner's name?
Thomas Williams, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
This is India Charlie 1. Have you got any
You
female
spell
officers on duty?
Thomas, as in it's not like have you seen Thomas the Tank? And it's
Yes.
not like that. It's spelled T-O.
Are you okay to come
A.
assist on a quick search, please, on another female?
Can do.
Okay. So, whilst I'm
My
searching
TO
for
is
this,
currently
why
busy
did you
at the
not stop for us?
No problem. We're just on the
To be honest
FTS
with you, you
for the
tried to
trash
pick me up,
master.
so I had to take evasive action just to get out of the way there. And then I was about to pull across the road in that little bus stopper there, and the bus rammed me. And then you come and smacked in behind me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I don't remember seeing a bus.
Oh, there was a
And
bus.
secondly,
There was
the reason why we went to pull you over in the first place and cut you up was because you've been going around in the same area, what, 3, maybe 4 times? Driving like an absolute lunatic, spinning out, crashing into cones.
Well, to be honest with you, them cones ain't normally there.
Well, that doesn't matter. A road worker usually isn't in the road, but it could
Has
be
anybody
there.
searched the
And you happen to drive past.
trash van?
Yeah, well...
You're saying it's okay to run down a road worker?
Well, no, that's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying there should be more, you know, signs and different things there to prevent
I'll do a
people
quick search.
cutting up the lane and hitting the cones.
Romeo Oscar 2-5, we have a failure to stop
That's what I'm
pillbox,
saying there,
currently
you
heading
know. This is
system
exactly
south,
why each
just
side
towards
is
the
the
square
best.
here. Any
You know,
available
right
units,
over here on
frequency
west
2,
side,
please.
it's a load of bollocks, to be honest.
Yeah, the
with you.
truck's clear.
Oh, we'll do. Me and my colleagues just have a quick chat and we'll decide what we're going to do with you.
Aye. Oh, wait there, mate.
Yeah, go on.
I don't suppose I can have one of these pieces of chewing gum. It's in the front centre of the car, but yeah.
No, mate.
Oh.
I mean, if he is who he says he is no previous warning cutting loose. We've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Yeah, cracking. Well, you guys wanted to pull him out originally, so that's you first. I was just saying, Steve. First offence, warning, cut and dry, cut and loose even.
Yeah, sure, we got bigger fish.
Exactly right. Right, mate. So, fortunately, this vehicle you're not going to be able to drive away. What we are going to do, we're going to be giving you official police caution on this occasion.
Official police caution
For driving in excess of the speed limit, fail to stop. Okay.
I think you guys need to take a bit of the responsibility for crashing in the back of me over there. But yeah.
So is that you saying you want us to take you to the station and do you the offences with a fine and points and prison time? We can do that, but we're cutting you a break here by giving you a warning for this.
Wait there now. Prison time for a motoring offence.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense.
It does. So it's your call. I mean take the caution, in which case we uncuff you now. You get to walk away, or we can take you down to the police station, book you in prison.
Actually, I want a solicitor.
Right, cracking. No worries.
I'm not having no caution.
Yeah, no worries. In the back of the car you go.
Okay.
Romeo Sierra 1, back on freak.
Just going to be a left here.
Yeah, that's
Is that okay?
That's...
I've got someone.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Afternoon, bud. How you doing?
Hello, sir. Hello.
You don't have to call me sir anymore.
No, I respect the experience.
Okie dokie.
Oh, I get it. It's your experience. That's why you can run red lights.
Alright then. So
Right.
officer, what is the circumstances of this man's arrest?
So we've got Mr. Ali G here under arrest for failed to stop, driving excessive speed.
How come you're just saying?
The circumstances are we were parked aside of the road on Elegant Avenue by Legion Square, facing southbound. This vehicle circled around the block multiple times at excessive speeds.
3
We
times,
activated our blue
Pixar.
lights and sounds, attempted to pull her over. However, he failed to do so, turning into an alleyway, at which point he collided with a dustbin that was on the side of the road, dumpster-style dustbin. We then followed him. He's
And the
followed him. There
bus-
was a
and the
collision
bus.
with the rear of his vehicle. However, it leading to his car breaking down inside the car park opposite ammunition. He got out of
Where
a
did he break- where did
vehicle.
he
He got
go?
out of his and he was placed under arrest for a failed to stop dangerous driving.
Alright, what's the necessity for that?
Prompt effective investigation offence. Prevent his disappearance. Ascertain name. Ascertain address. Although ascertain name and address has already been completed, so it's just going to be the first two.
Was any use of force used?
Yeah, handcuffs is still in, and he was tackled as well because he was.
I was not resistant at all, to be honest with you.
Alright, Mr. G. Based on what this officer said, I'm satisfied your arrest is lawful. I'm going to authorise your detention here so we can obtain evidence and conduct an investigation. While in custody, you've got certain rights. You have a right to free and independent legal advice. You have a right to food and
Where
water.
did you go to school? Staines Community College?
Yeah, mate, exactly. It's in Staines, yeah.
Jesus Christ. You can tell you're from the west side.
Right, for us to inform
Come
someone
on,
who you
sir,
are.
come back here, please, mate. Come back here and stand before the officer.
Well, to be honest with you, if I'm being arrested for being non-compliant, I may as well be non-compliant.
Well, you're just staying cuffs then, mate.
Well, I'm in cuffs anyway, so I'm not really losing.
Right, don't go wandering off.
I was going to let you out of cuffs, but anyway, right for us to inform someone you're detained, right to seek medical attention, a right to see policies and procedures we follow, and the right to see your custody rights.
Yeah, I did want a solicitor. That's all.
I'll arrange. I'll give you a solicitor, mate. Do you want to exercise any of your other rights?
Yeah, I want a drink.
Okay.
And I'd like to use the toilet facilities, please.
All right. Well, we'll stick you in a cell for the toilet, and I'll bring you a drink in a minute. Okay.
Okay, that'll do.
So, officer, while I go through his risk assessment, can you do a section 54?
Yeah, will do, mate. So I'm going to search you again, section 54 pace, okay?
Yeah.
So there are certain items on you that you're not allowed in custody, mainly that phone.
Only that I mentioned earlier that I have a massive cock.
So, Mr. G, do you have any dietary requirements while you're going to be staying with us?
No, my sister's a vegan, or if that counts.
Okay. Do you have any allergies that we need to be aware of?
No, other than the fact I miss me Julie.
Right, yeah, okay. Any medication that you're currently taking?
Yes.
What's that then?
Viagra.
Okay. Are you dependent on drink or drugs?
Actually, I can't say I am.
Fair enough. Any medical issues I should be aware of?
No, just with obviously the Viagra, I do suffer from erectile dysfunction.
I don't think that'll be an issue while you're with us.
Well, no, you just asked me if I had any medical conditions, so I thought I...
Just need to, evaluate whether you're going to need your medication. It's not a prescription, is it? Or...
No, well, I do have a repeat prescription because obviously normally you have to pay for that, but obviously because I got the prescription, I get it for free.
Yeah, I'll check with our station nurse if you're going to need that. Any mental health issues I should be aware of?
Definitely not.
All right. Thank you. PC, do you want to take his fingerprints and I'll give me a copy and I'll do the mugshot and I'll start this report for you.
Yeah, will do.
I love he puts his hands up at the end and still getting tackled.
I mean, I was committed to tackle him at that point, unfortunately.
He excessive speed and failed stops. He's doing 30.
I think that's lenient. I could do him for the criminal damage, careless and inconsiderate driving for the way he was drifting around the corners. But I'm only going with those two.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So we're looking at either a 22k fine or a 34 max. I guess.
I'm not giving him prison for this. It's going to get a fine. It's not going to be 32k. We're probably looking at 10k fine for this,
Brilliant.
and the obligatory points.
One of yours or a civilian with one?
I don't fucking know.
Hang on, 0660.
I'm gonna come outside and invest.
Yeah.
7775.
Alright, send Geo Runner. Send.
Jungle is
Yeah,
massive.
yeah, I got send you a friend request.
Is the best.
Wait.
Right. Can I get the
How do I-
cuffs off, please?
How do I see who's fucking
Right, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go on with these proceedings. Now it looks like there is a quite decent amount of people here, so we can do a jury trial if we've 10 willing participants.
I have a nuclear missile shoved up my ass.
Yes.
Alright, well, whoever that
Oh
is
my
doesn't
God.
get to participate. So if you do want to participate,
I'm
obviously,
Jesus, I'm floating.
and, stand at the doors there, and
Yeah, can you just line up for me?
Create a
we'll
queue,
just do
no
a
one's
bit of
getting
random
through unless you create
moderation.
an orderly queue.
Right, come on, lads. Come on, lads.
Make a straight
Come
line.
on, lads. Let us at the front, lads. Come on, lads. Let us at the front.
Ivan, mate.
Straight line, all of yous.
I'm directly behind Chad.
Lad on the end.
People, what are you doing?
Do you know what a straight
I
line
am the line.
Your
I am
belly
the line.
cheek.
Sadly,
Suck my
mate,
knob.
you're on this side of it, so we need to go back.
Look, there's a clear line here, and there's clearly not a line.
Sorry a second.
Pitbull,
Right.
what are you doing, lad?
I was
Clearly a line.
first up. I was
Pitbull,
first.
Pitbull,
Pitbull,
look, I'll let
Pitbull,
you
move
if you
back.
stop pushing in.
Right, ginger
Oh, well,
fella.
let's go.
Non-biased, man.
That's your priority?
Give us a sec. Pitbull, move back a bit.
We're getting there first.
No, I'm not standing in that queue.
Okay.
mate.
Right, Ginge, you're in.
How about we all
Stop. Ivan, in.
Yeah. Yeah,
why is
in.
he?
Pitbull, in.
Oh, Chad!
Old Pete,
I
come
guess
on
you're
in.
picking now. Okay.
Oh, Mirabeau's on the
Jack, I'm not too convinced about you, mate.
Ah, don't be
You're
a
convinced
dick,
about me
mate.
though.
I don't know. You have recently been charged with murder. from what I've
I
heard.
can. do
Okay,
that.
right, go sit down. Next
Didn't
one.
Didn't Ivan rob a bank?
Just,
He did. What's up?
Pause for 2 seconds. Can you let the ginger hair bloke in? He was here first, so I want to make sure he gets in.
The ginger gentleman.
The guy in the back, chain, has just
Oh.
come to the front.
He was
Oh,
here first. So.
hello, Paul. Come on.
He stabbed me before.
Alright, next one.
You do know whatever you say on here, you shout, don't you? Jack?
And you as well.
Cheers, lad.
Come on through to the other side. And
What'd you
you
say?
two as well.
He's touched me in different places. I didn't want to be touched.
Officer, mate, you're a bit late, I'm afraid.
Why?
Yeah,
was
police
10.
can't be in a jury trial anyway.
I'm
That
not
as
a police officer.
Yeah, you are.
What do you mean you're not
So
a
you
police
tell me you're
officer?
just a
Look
quick
around,
cover
you're a
gun?
man.
Larry Fisher!
I'm in the line.
I want to help the defendant.
There's sadly no room left.
There
Right,
is
we've got
already-
our 10. Nice to see.
This is
Lol.
bullshit.
Oh, she just left on the bench.
Innit?
The guy's innocent. He did nothing wrong.
Literally did nothing wrong.
I bet it was a hate crime.
Okay, so
Yeah, I think it's the hair, bro. I think this got wrong with my hair.
I'm
So the
saying
way
this
these
is real
proceedings
scary.
work is
Come
that
Not you, him.
court case
Oh.
will proceed. The opening statement will be made by the police, and then
Yes,
the defense will have an opportunity. And basically, you just have to listen
How
along.
are we?
You should yourself take notes of the case so that you've got a good sort of recollection of what happens. Because when the case is adjourned, you'll go into the room to my right, where you will deliberate on the matter. In there, you'll be speaking amongst yourselves. You'll have opportunity to view evidence that's presented by the court, and any questions that you may have regarding the evidence potentially will be answered. So just depending whether or not it's leading or by whom by. When it comes to the deliberation room, police will not be allowed to discuss with you anything. So there'll be an officer in the room potentially to give you the evidence, and they'll clarify, yes, this is this evidence, this is what this means. But they won't be there to answer any questions of like, well, did he do this? Did he do that? This is where, in this room where we are now, is that opportunity for them to tell the court. So when we do get into the jury room, one of you will have to be selected amongst yourselves to be the foreman of the court, and you will give the final verdict. So you'll come back out, you'll say, yeah, we find him on this count not guilty, this count guilty, so on and so forth. Do we have any questions? Brilliant. Right, we'll get this underway then. Is prosecution and defense ready to proceed?
Prosecution's ready, Your Honour.
Tell him yes.
Yes.
Radio. Unfortunately today, my gavel seems to be made of rubber and doesn't work, so we'll just have to imagine that I'm whacking a gavel when we do this. So we're going to proceed now with the hearing. And prosecution, you want to make your opening statement, please? And please either stand in the middle at the podium, or you can address the jury directly by walking up to them.
Good evening, Your Honour. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Before us today is a simple case where an individual failed to stop for the police, drove in a careless manner, and also drove in excess of the speed limit on Elgin Avenue. At around 20:44 hours today, we witnessed the defendant, Ali G, committing these offences. This we will prove through evidence and witness testimony.
Okay, thank you. Defense, like to make an opening statement?
Do you want to do it or shall I?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Let me. Hello, Your Honour. So today we're here to prove my client as not guilty against the accusation for him. We're here to also put on that we feel like excess force was used as which we will go into at the end, and we also feel a bit of police corruption's gone on, which we are here against.
Okay. If you could just, for the future reference, when you try to speak, do it in one continuous manner, because it seems to be a bit of an issue when you speak. It's we miss the first part of what you say. But other than that, it's all good. So thank you. You may be seated. Okay, prosecution, is there any witnesses you wish to call?
Yeah, sure. And I'd like to call Sergeant Steve Jones to the stand, please.
Is the sergeant present today?
He's to your right, Your Honour.
Stood next to me. Okay, cool. If you sit down for a second. Mr. Miller, can you come over here, please?
Turn your phone off.
You tell him.
Shh.
Bit quiet in here, lads, isn't it?
Allergy.
It's Ed Matthews here.
Ed, is that you?
Right. No.
Ed Matthews?
State your name, please.
Police
Doors
Sergeant
in
Steve
it.
Jones.
Lads, can you
Sergeant
please
Steve
quiet
Jones.
down?
Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you, Greenhorn?
I do.
I don't think
Right,
he's
thank you.
lying.
Alright, Elsa.
Okay, prosecution, if you'd like to proceed.
Good afternoon. Sergeant Jones, you're a member of the Firearms Department, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and how long have you served as a member of the Los Angeles Police Service?
Around about 6 months.
6 months. Okay, as well as a member of the Firearms Department, are you part of any other departments?
R&D, recruitment and development.
Okay, as part of recruitment and development, are you also part of training and teaching basic driving skills to police officers?
I am, yes.
Okay. So I'll just ask those questions just so we can all understand that the testimony is going to give and he does have knowledge in this area. So talk to me about what happened today, please, Sergeant Jones.
Well, we were sat at Elgin Avenue near Regent Square. Basically waiting, for anything to happen, really, any dispatches to come through. It's been a pretty quiet day. While I sat there, I saw this black vehicle come speeding around the corner, lose control, Once losing control, he ended up on the not only just the pavement, but went from the pavement then to the other side of the road, and then slowly cruised past us. He then sped off again round the corner, past Fleeca Bank, and did basically a full circle back around Legion Square again to where he came speeding past us. At that point, I then went to pull him over. He refused to pull over. When I told him to pull over, I had my blue lights on as well. He then began to speed away from us. He cut up a bus, which hit him, and then ended up in the alleyway behind B Machine, which then led into him crashing into a bin that was in the alleyway.
Long day.
He got stuck on the bin. While stuck on the bin, I tried to box him in at the rear of his car. He managed to break his car free and then carried on to proceed towards the car park. He then brake checked me, to which then obviously caught me by surprise, and I accidentally bumped into the back end of his car. He then eventually got out of the vehicle.
Bullshit.
And excuse me, do you mind?
No, I
He then got out of the vehicle.
Yeah, shut up, Phil.
To which he was then confronted and told to place his hands up. He refused. He tried to argue the matter, to where then he was tackled, and just as he was being about to be tackled, he then put his hands up, but he was the police officer at the time was kind of already committed at that point, if that makes sense. So he wasn't able to stop it. And that's pretty much it. Apart from once he was arrested and cautioned and everything, we offered to basically let him walk with a slap on the wrist, as it was his first offence. He wasn't known to us. To then where he said he wanted a solicitor. From that point, he was then placed back in the car, taken to Mission Row, given all his custody rights, etc. And well, here we are. Pretty much, it's ended up escalating to this. That's pretty much the whole event.
Okay, thank you for that, Sergeant Jones. So you mentioned the vehicle was speeding. How do you know the vehicle was speeding?
In our cars, we are equipped with an AMPR system. On the AMPR system, it gives us a live readout of the vehicle speed that is passing us and that is coming towards us. And I'm sure top speed I registered was around about 46 to 50 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone.
Okay, thank you very much. And what is it you said drew your eye to this vehicle? Sorry, just in case I missed that.
When I first saw him, and he lost control of the vehicle and ended up on the pavement, and then on the other side, well, the wrong side of the road, should I say.
Okay. How would you describe the individual driver? Would you describe him as careful and competent?
Definitely not.
Okay, so you believe it falls below that standard then?
Sorry, repeat last.
So you believe it falls below the standards of a careful and competent driver then?
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay. So, looking at the body worn video you provided, which is evidence Papa 1 on the case file, as he does turn away from Legion Square into the alley, it does appear like you touched the rear of his vehicle sometimes. Is there any reason for that?
In the first part of the alleyway, or when we got into the car park?
The first part of the alleyway, just before the dumpsters.
Like I say, I was trying to box him in, not purposely ram him or anything like that. I was just trying to get close enough to his vehicle to stop him reversing backwards away from the bins.
Okay, and is this an approved police tactic?
Yes.
Okay. And what training have you conducted that allows you to conduct this?
Well, I'm an ex-member of RPU, so I've done a lot of TPAC training, etc. I'm also hard stop trained. I've got all the qualifications I need, and I've been trained in every section of it.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's all from myself, Your Honour.
Okay, thank you. Defense, if you'd like to cross.
Good evening, Mr. Jones. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
So you said that you used to be in RPU. Can you tell me, for a hard stop or box, how many people you need involved in a hard stop and who authorises that? And is there a certain speed limit, or what are the reasons you would authorise one of them?
Well, first of all, usually it's a 3-car minimum. but it takes a TACAD authorised officer to authorise any sort of tactics like that. And at the same time, the vehicle had come to a stop when I went to pull in behind it. So there was no need for authorisation at that time.
Do you need, when you're giving authorization, or when you're who do you need to contact, or can you just ram anybody? Sorry, make contact with anybody.
You can't just make contact with anybody. No, you have to get authorization from a TACAD officer.
So
if the vehicle is moving, and generally it usually be TACAD authorized between 40 or 70 miles an hour.
Because you were both still moving when you made contact with him.
No, the vehicle had come to a complete stop because he crashed into the bins. It's clear in the video.
Okay. My next question is when he came around the corner the second, because you say that he came around 3 times on Legion Square. On the first time he came,
3 times.
On the first time he came around, can you describe his driving for me?
His driving was careless and inconsiderate to other road users.
The first time he came round?
And pedestrians, for that matter, yeah.
And that was on the first time he came round, sorry?
Yep.
And then on the second time, which you've caught on body worn, you watched him go on the wrong side, onto the path, onto the wrong side of the road, and then carry on down. Why did you not stop him then? Why have you let him go around a third time? If you felt like he was inconsiderate and dangerous driving in the first 2 times, why have you let him go around another time?
The first time wasn't when he lost control of the vehicle. The first time he was just circling the area. The second time was when he lost control of the vehicle, to which I thought it was maybe an accidental lost control of the vehicle, which sometimes does happen to most people in this city, especially if they're having head issues. But the fact that he came around the third time and was still driving inconsiderately was when I pulled him over.
So on the second time he comes round, he does admittedly lose control, but once he gets back on the right side of the road, he does stop. Obviously we don't know why he stops, but he just stops for a second, and then he carries on coming down the road at a considerable speed, which he is below 30. My next question on that is, how trustworthy are these ANPR systems that you have in your vehicles?
I've never had an issue with them.
Just my issue with it is when the bike's coming past and there is no vehicles near you coming either way, the ANPR is hitting 35, 50, 60. It's going to a lot of different speed limits, and the same when my client comes past you. It even has him when he's at a stop doing 20 miles an hour. Can a car be speeding if it's not moving?
It may have been picking up another vehicle that was going past.
So can you 100% say them speeds that you were picking up were all onto my client, or there was no interference?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Can you 100% say that the speeds that you've seen, when the speeds that you've seen, there was no interference in them whatsoever, considering when he does come past, they are still spiking and there is no actual clear reading, they jump numbers?
There is sometimes a little bit of a delay, but usually they're very accurate. I mean, I don't think there was any issue with the ANPR system at the time.
Because on the third time he comes round, he is below 30 miles an hour, and then you decide to put your blue lights on and then pull out in front of him.
Well, actually, if you look at the video, he came back around the corner the last time on the wrong side of the road and then cut up the junction as well to get to where he was coming past us again.
On the third time he was on, we maybe watched it different. On the third time of the footage I've seen, he's on the correct side the whole time. When he's
no, at the top of Legion Square, on the north side of Legion Square, he came down the wrong lane of travel before he hit our road that we was on, and I watched him doing that. And then he also cut the corner of the junction as well. From my point of view, the gentleman in question, he was clearly trying to bait for a chase in the first place, which is not uncommon, quite common in this city, to be fair. So I proceeded to then go and pull him over.
I'm just going to object to that because you can't say what he was doing or not doing. That's
He
your
was
opinion.
circling the
baiting
same
you.
area. He was circling the same area and driving inconsiderately to other road users and pedestrians the whole time.
Does your vehicle have sirens?
It does, yes.
And did you have these sirens on when you pulled out in front of my client?
I did not know because he could clearly see me.
And did you have any sirens on at any point while you were chasing my client?
I never really got a chance to put the sirens on from where we was to where the chase ended, to be fair. It was no more than about a 2 to 3 second chase because he'd been hit by a bus, then crashed into an alleyway.
So, my client's come round twice, and you've not put your sirens or lights on to chase him. And then the third time he comes down, you decide to put them on, and he's just drove by. What I'm trying to say is, how does he know you're after him? Because you've got no sirens on, you've just got your lights, and then obviously when he's going down the road, he might not have noticed you had your lights on, he might not have seen them, or realised going after him, he might have just thought you were rushing off to a scene to something else. He has come around the corner, yes, he's hit the bin, but then he has come to a stop in the car park. He has stopped when he's finally figured out you were there. As you arrived on scene, he has stopped and complied.
He knew I was after him because when I first pulled out on him on Elgin Avenue, I originally shouted to him, pull over the vehicle to the side of the road. He completely ignored that, shouted something to me, which I didn't quite hear because I think he was whispering, and then proceeded to make off from us. So he knew that I wanted to speak to him. He knew that we were chasing him, especially when he brake checked me in the car park behind Beam Machine.
Again, he's brake.
If the jury could ignore the last comment, Sergeant, if you could refrain from stating what the defendant did as a fact, rather what you believe to be the case.
Sorry, Your Honour.
The thing I'm struggling with here with Mr. Jones is, if somebody is driving inconsiderate and you deem them to be dangerous on the road and excessing speed, why would you not pull him over the first time? Because pulling him over the first time could have, I mean, luckily there wasn't any accidents, but if he was really that risk, would you not have pulled him over the first time to stop any accidents happening or put the law on him then?
Again, as I stated, you know, we're quite considerate to people on the fact of people do have head issues, and which I thought it was. But when he kept coming around and doing the same thing and going around the same block past us, it was clear that he was just trying to, say, tease us, if you would, into chasing him.
So, my question is, just to get an understanding of teasing you, if somebody pulled out a knife twice and then stabbed somebody, would you not have acted first, pulled the knife out?
Pulling a knife out is completely different to driving and having head issues.
If you could hold a minute, can I get an understanding of where this line of questioning is going?
So the question is, because obviously the line of question is what it doesn't matter what the seriousness is, it's still a crime. He's pulled a knife in a public place, so you're going to arrest him. It's the same as he's broke the rules in the sense of that he's excessive driving. There shouldn't be. He still can put people at danger. So as I was saying, he's still putting people at danger with the speed of being inconsiderate. So I just don't get why one should be different whether you feel he's teasing you or not. At the end of the day, he's committing a crime.
Again, like I said, pulling out a knife is completely different from driving. While you're driving around the city, as everyone well knows, again, as I repeat myself, you have head issues, and we are considerate to that and understandable to that fact. As for pulling out a knife, if you're pulling out a knife, there's clearly not a head issue. That's clearly your own actions. And quite honestly, if I may, Your Honour, I kind of feel like we're going around in circles with this same questioning.
And then my next question is, just moving on from that bit then, is if you're you said you connected with him by accident when you crashed into him. The only evidence you've got of him being in accident is hitting some cones. So could that not be an accident where he's accidentally hit the cones and he has stopped the same as you did? What's the difference between you accidentally hitting something and him not hitting it? As we're only going on the evidence that we've seen, we only can go on the evidence you provided, not what we assume.
Okay, I need you to rephrase this question. It's very hypothetical and it's borderline going off track here.
So what's the difference between him hitting that cone and you hitting the back of him to be classed as inconsiderate driving?
Objection, Your Honour. The officer's not the one on trial here.
Yeah, but I'll answer it anyway, just for the sake of it. Okay. Again, it is actual evidence in the video of him not only losing control of the car, but constantly inconsiderate driving. When he brake checked me, that was not a head issue on my part. I saw his brake lights come on, but by the time I saw his brake lights come on, I was already behind him. And by the time I'd hit my brakes, it was too late at that point. The wheels locked up and I slid into the back of him. So that was purely and clearly accidental. What he was doing was not accidental.
That's more my questions, Mr. Jones.
Okay, thank you. Prosecution, opportunity to re-examine.
Thank you, Your Honour. So, Sergeant, going back to the chaos inconsiderate, the solicitor over there stated that the only evidence that's been presented of careless and inconsiderate driving is the knocking over of cones. Looking at the body-worn video you provided, it does show the individual pulling sharp to the right in front of a bus on Vespucci Boulevard. Would you believe, in your professional's opinion of police officer and former roads policing unit, that meets the standard of careless and inconsiderate driving?
Yes.
Okay, and did this manoeuvre cause damage to the vehicle and the bus from the collision?
It caused damage to the vehicle, the bus, and also caused concern for injury to not only himself, but the people on the bus, including the driver, and also then caused him to lose control further of the car.
Okay. Thank you very much. I've got no further questions, Your Honour.
Okay, thank you. Sergeant, I have just some for clarity purposes. You mentioned some acronyms in your statements or your testimony given today. The term RPU, could you just give the full definition of what that acronym means?
Roads Policing Unit.
Okay, thank you. TPAC, what is it? What is a TPAC in the full definition?
TPAC is basically tactics that we use on the road to
Yeah,
stop.
no, apologies. Maybe I should rephrase. The acronym TPAC is it an acronym or is it just simply a word TPAC? What does TPAC stand for?
Tactical Pursuit and Containment.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned a TACAD officer. What is a TACAD officer? What does that? Is that another acronym?
It is, yes.
What does that mean?
God, it's not very often I have to explain the actual acronym of that. It is.
Just so we've got a good tactical advisor. Okay,
yes.
Right. Okay. Just 2 or 3 others. You mentioned in your testimony regarding the speed recorded by your in-car system. You mentioned, I believe, a speed limit, but I couldn't quite get the speed limit from your testimony. What was the speed limit in the area designated with this alleged offence?
Well, the speed limit in this area where it should have been was 30. He was doing around up to 45 to 50.
Okay, and I believe... Oh, sorry, one last question. You mentioned cut up a few times, so he cut up somebody. Now, I presume that's not referring to the idea that he cut up an individual in terms of slashing them up with that type of stuff. I presume you meant like they were cutting in front of somebody or something like that?
Yes, basically the same as what I did to him. I tried to, when I was trying to pull him up, I cut up in front of him to basically, make him aware of my presence with my blue lights on and tried to shout to him, look, pull over, want to talk to you. And he cut up the bus when he pulled up in front of the bus and got hit by the bus.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. I just was trying to clarify that phrase there.
Of course.
And yeah, no, that's all the questions I've got noted down here. So you may be, you can either take your place where you were stood before or seated somewhere. You're free to go. Okay, prosecution, do you have any more witnesses to call to the stand?
I don't, Your Honour, but I would like to introduce into evidence the body-worn video produced by Sergeant Jones as HAPA 1 in the case file.
Okay. For the members of the jury, that will be provided to you in the deliberation room. Okay, defense, is there anybody whom you wish to call to the stand?
Yes, we would like to call PC Moody if he's still here.
Is Constable Moody present in the courtroom?
Yep.
Okay, if you could take the seats to my right, and Mr. Miller, if you would, please.
All right, state your name, please.
Thomas Moody.
Mr. Thomas Moody, do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you Barry Greenhall?
Yes.
Perfection.
Good evening, Mr. Moody. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
So, can you just clarify what was said to you when my client arrived at custody, of what he had done and what had happened at the scene where they did say that they wanted to let him go, but a solicitor was called?
Let me test my memory. So my job as custody officer is just to get the circumstances and necessity. As far as I remember, the circumstances are doing laps around Legion Square. He's been asked to stop by a marked vehicle with lights on. He failed to comply with that stop and has ended up in an alley, crashed into a bin. I believe that's enough as a custody officer that I need to authorise his detention. So I don't have explicit detail.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Did they mention anything about that they were going to let him go, but then he asked for a solicitor?
No.
Okay. When I arrived, I'm sure that you mentioned that to me, that they were going to let him go. So how did you find out that?
I don't remember saying that to you.
Oh.
I do have body worn of the booking process.
There was Ludgy down there, so I can't remember who. I thought it was you. I do apologise. So please, jury, please ignore that one.
I don't think I was ever told that, so I don't know how I could have
Right, Kylo.
told anyone else.
Yeah, go comment on session. Told him not to.
That's kind of scrap that, so there's no more questions. Sorry.
Okay, not to worry. Prosecution, would you like to cross?
Prosecution's got no... actually, apologies. PC Mode, you say you're acting as the custody officer, is that correct?
Correct.
And it was myself who presented the defendant to you, is that correct also?
Yes, it was.
Okie dokie. Was the grounds and necessity provided what is detention sufficient to authorise his detention today based on your knowledge of being a custody officer?
Yes, in my view, the circumstances and necessity of the arrest was lawful and enough to warrant a detention for further investigation.
Okay. And the defendant requested a solicitor, is that correct?
Yes.
And one was contacted for him straight away, is that?
Immediately, yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honour.
Okay. Defense opportunity to recross.
Yeah, it's just I don't have one actually. Mr. Bean, when they brought my client in, what were the charges they've given him?
Failure to stop and driving with excessive speed.
And when he pleaded not guilty, were these the only two charges that was given to him?
So as I had processed his booking in, I remained at my desk for that period. I think I do not remember you know, the guilty not guilty process of the arrest.
Okay. Were you down in the cells? We were notified by Mr. so that they were adding a charge, which is the excessive, which is the inconsiderate driving. Do you remember anything about that?
Do you mean in the court cells?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
And that is when. Do you know if that is the first time my client learned of that?
I couldn't speak to that. It's the first time I was aware of it.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, Constable. I have a question just on the last part there. So, just to clarify, the charges that were present when the defendant pleaded not guilty are different to the charges which he's now facing in front of us today.
I don't know at what stage he was asked guilty or not guilty. So, as you know, as a custody officer, once I authorise the detention, I'm sort of just there for food and drink and make sure of the detainee's well-being. So, I don't know at what stage guilty or not guilty happened. Therefore, I can't speak to.
I appreciate that. Thank you. You may return to your seat. Are we losing a member of our jury? What's going on here?
I believe he wishes to leave, Judge.
He wishes to leave.
Yeah.
Not allowed. He's here for eternity. Tell him to get back.
You just.
Any of you want to
what's
fill
your
in
name,
for the jury?
sir? Who's leaving?
I will.
It's Jack.
Jack, why are we leaving?
I will.
I need to go do some other business.
Some other business.
Yeah.
Where do you think you were coming to today?
I don't have to answer that one, unfortunately.
Right.
A
You
voluntary
understand-
tribute.
You understand now that
I'll
you're
take his
impeding
spot.
the
My name's
justice of the
Jack.
court, right?
I'm what, sorry?
You're impeding the justice of the court. We've just literally sat down for the purpose of a bench trial with the jury, and now you're leaving as a member of the jury. Do you understand that concept? You know, it's the definition of contempt of court. I have to now somehow find somebody else to fill your seat.
I'll do it.
I can stay if necessary, but...
He's definitely not got any other business because mine isn't goes in the bin, Judge.
Ivan, mate, shut the fuck up.
Right, Jack, you may leave.
Killer shoot.
Please, just let's vacate the building.
Can I take his space?
Does anybody else have to arbitrarily leave?
Go on through, mate. Just jumping his seat up.
Good, because the next person who does will be held in contempt. All right, let's move on.
He gets a pass, but I don't.
Okay. Prosecution, I just have one question which I need clarifying for, and then we'll get the jury off to deliberation.
You sure?
So, the testimony given today has suggested that there was a position where offences were presented to the defendant, and then the alleged offences changed whilst down in the custody cells. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honour.
And is there a reason why an individual was presented with the opportunity to plead not guilty or guilty to the offences, and then new charges were added, and therefore not given the opportunity to get a whole encompassing thought of the situation?
Further charges were added due to a further review of the evidence showing that the careless inconsiderate driving did take place. It wasn't just speeding and they failed to stop, Your Honour.
Okay, thank you. You can sit back down.
Do I get
Your Honour,
to
would
defend
like to,
myself?
Yeah, I would like to call my client because we do have some questions on that. Because there was a lot
Apologies,
said.
my bad. Yes, correct. You still have the opportunity to call further witnesses. Would you like to call a further witness?
Yes, I would like to call my client up, Ali G.
Ali G, okay. And can I have clarity whether or not Ali G is his legal name?
He has actually flashed me his ID saying Ali G.
Right, okay. There. If you would take the stand, please.
Yeah, I'd love to. The seat is very comfy at the minute.
Think about flexing your E muscle.
Ah, there we are. It's not so comfy now.
Just need to ease out of it.
Superintendent, if you would.
Will do.
you have a smoothie on you?
All right. If you
Yeah,
mind
what's your
taking
number?
a seat, bossman.
363,
Okay,
please.
thank you.
All right. State your name, please.
My name is Ali G.
Thank you
Nice
very
to meet
much.
you, Mr. Ali G. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Of course, I'm a born Christian.
Sorry, Superintendent, could you just clarify which god are we swearing to now?
Yeah, no, I'm
Christian.
a Christian. I'm a Christian.
one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whatever, just it's very important, thank you.
No worries. There we go.
Alright, defense if you would.
Good evening, Mr. G.
Good evening.
Can you tell us what has happened this evening with you and the police, please?
Well, I believe the police. Obviously, they must have tried to stop me, but they didn't make that very clear at the start, which is why I put the brakes on down the alley when I noticed them after they rammed me. Now, I feel as though they were going to let me go because they didn't feel as though any crime was actually caused. And obviously, now that I've decided to not accept a police caution because I didn't feel I was in the wrong, they've decided to slap down whatever charges they want to. But may I add that they weren't actually going to charge me for these crimes in the first place. So isn't that abusing their power?
All I need from you, Mr. G, is just what your version of what happened, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah. So I was testing out little Tom's car around Legion Square because it's rear-wheel drive. Now, obviously, I tried my best to stay in the lanes. The car wasn't fast enough to be going really excessive. Okay. Now I was coming round the corner. I think it was on the second lap, and the back wheels kicked out a little bit too much, and I hit one of the cones. Now, immediately after doing this, I readjusted my position in the lane and slowed down because I thought, okay, this is I need to calm down a bit by here, correct myself. So I did that, and then one of these police officers decided, with no lights or whatever, just to come across into my lane, essentially trying to cut me up. Now, I didn't have much time to react to this, and this was just by a junction. Now, I did hear him say pull over, to which I did reply back and said, I will pull over now. The police officer just said there that he didn't hear what I said, but I did say something to him. Now, obviously, I was going to park just outside the bank by Legion Square, because there's a little lay-by there by a little bus stop. Now, as I went to go and park by there, I must have had some sort of headache issue because there was no bus there originally. I only noticed a bus there when it was too late and it swerved, well, it nipped the side of my car. Now, one of the police officers could probably contest that he was having issues as well because in his original statement in the police station, he said that there was no bus there for him. Now, I got into that alleyway. I did hit a bin because obviously my vehicle spun out of control from the bus, and the police officer rammed straight into the back of me. I don't believe it was a tactic. I believe, obviously, the speed he was coming, he just went straight into the back of me, and I carried on driving a little bit further so I could park around the back in the actual car park. I wasn't speeding. I was going nice and slow, and they rammed me again as I was slowing down the alleyway. And then I got out of the car to be cooperative with them, to which one of the officers threw me to the floor straight away, and then cuffed me. And then I just remember them offering to let me go with a police caution, so with me not having any charges. But then as soon as I had a problem with it, because obviously I believed I didn't do anything wrong, then they wanted to pile all charges on me. And I believe I was only arrested for 2 charges during the arrest.
Okay. I have a quick question. If a bicycle and that car you was driving, had a little race, who do you think would win?
The car, definitely.
So, do you have any So if you were speeding, and you were going the speeds they say you was doing, do you think a bike would have been able to fly past you?
Not if I was speeding. No, surely not.
Because going back to what Mr. Jones said, you were doing 45.
Well, yeah, I think there's quite a broad speed range there because he's saying between 45 and 50.
I agree, and that was to bring back to the AMPI. I don't think was rich because it did jump up and down. But what I have concerns about is that if you were doing 45 and that guy has come past you, which I can't believe that somebody on a BMX can hit 50, 55 if we're doing a range to match yours.
Objection, Your Honour. Cause speculation. He's not an expert to
sorry.
testify to the speed of a push bike.
I have driven a BMX.
If we rephrase, please.
Yeah, sorry. We'll ignore that question, please, Sherry.
Okay, if the jury could ignore the question that was asked.
So you say that the bus clipped you. Is this why you ended up in the? Because as you can see, when you go in front of the bus, you do kind of spin out. Is this why you lost control into the bin?
Yeah, so that's why I crashed into the bin because obviously like I said, I was going to pull up outside the bank by the little bus stop there because I couldn't exactly pull over in the middle of a junction.
So instead of just getting out the vehicle where it was, is there a reason you moved
G6
it
on
to
3 for
a big
beanbags
open
on
space?
Steve states the outright
Yeah, just
car
we were
plate
safer.
music.
Okay, and
Where?
when you got out the vehicle,
The main lobby of
how what would you say the time was between Mr. Solar telling you to put your hands up? Do you think there was do you feel like you had enough time to put your hands up, or?
No, I got out of the car and I started speaking to them, and by the time I could get my sentence out, one of them threw me to the floor.
And did you get any injuries from this?
Yeah, I grazed my elbow and my knees.
Did they offer you any medical treatment, or after when Mr. Solar tackled you?
Objection, Your Honour, to the medical thing. He's not submitted any medical evidence showing any sort of injuries.
Oh no, we're not saying. I'm just asking if he offered you any medical assistance after he tackled you to the floor.
No medical advice was offered, or did I have any medical examinations?
And when you got to the cells, did they mention any other charges apart?
I asked him during booking in
from the
if he needed medical care.
Failed to stop in excessive speed.
Or had any physical
No,
injuries.
it was just the two.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it.
And when you pleaded not guilty, was it just to these two charges?
Yeah, that's correct.
And when did you find out about the third charge?
When I was down the cell, in the courtroom.
And did they? Yeah, that's fine. There's no more questions, Your Honour.
Okay. Prosecution.
Good evening, Mr. G. So I do have a few questions about you. So you say you were doing laps around Legion Square. Is that correct?
3.
3 laps. Why were you doing laps on a public road? Would it not have been safe to do that in a private place?
It depends what you say as laps. I mean, you could drive 10 miles an hour doing laps.
Okie dokie. In the footage, evidence part 1, you can see you sliding across the road, and you said, I believe it was the rear wheels kicked out. Is that correct? Or was that fact?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And what speed were you say you were doing to cause that to happen? That piece of the road.
I'm not really sure, so I wouldn't like to give you an answer that is a lie.
That's fine. That's fine. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Obviously the vehicle I was driving is not a high-speed vehicle. It's it's more of a compact car, so it wouldn't have been able to pick up dangerous speeds anyway.
Okay. Did you lose control of the vehicle when that happened?
Yeah, yes, I did, because you stated I did as well.
Okay. Well, you said I stated you did, but do you genuinely think you lost control of the vehicle?
I believe I stated I did as well, just
Okay.
now.
That's fine. I just wanted to clarify that for the record. That's all. Now, your solicitor points out that a BMX did pass you. When the BMX passed you, had you already come to a stop once?
No, not at that point. I don't believe. I
No.
believe I was driving at that point.
Okay. Was this before or after you'd lost control of the vehicle and slowed down?
I'm not too. You have the body cam footage, so it's probably better finding out on there.
Huh? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I can't hear very well. I'm hearing.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
are
I'm
we
hearing
hearing
that.
music? I thought
Yeah.
I can hear that as well, Your Honour.
What's going on, please?
Okie dokie. Apologies for that.
Christ.
No. So back to
Yeah.
what I was saying. Okay, obviously my recollection of the timings during obviously the lapse. This was about 2 hours ago now, so I can't remember it exactly. You've got the body cam footage, so I believe obviously your answers are in there.
Okay. I can tell you the BMX passed you when you were stationary. Does that explain why BMX might be going faster than your car?
Not as far as I'm aware. Obviously, if I'm at a stop, then a snail would be going faster than me.
Okay. So let's go to when the sergeant tried to pull you over. He activated lights and pulled in front of you. What was the first point you noticed the police vehicles at the side of the road?
So originally there was an empty police car there when I done my first lap. Now, as far as I was aware, there was no police officers in there. And obviously I was just continuing to do what I was doing. I didn't really pay attention to the second police car that turned up the second time for the second lap. Or the third lap, whenever you guys said you see me on the second lap, so I'm assuming it's the second lap. So I didn't really notice you to a degree because I'd assumed there was no police officer in the vehicle.
Okay. And when did you notice the blue lights come on?
I didn't notice any blue lights come on.
You didn't notice the blue lights come on the police vehicle at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
From my recollection, okay, all I remember was I carried on going down that lane, and the police officer literally abruptly pulled in my lane as if to cut me off, which was a very dangerous maneuver.
Okay. So, just to be clear, you're telling me you didn't notice a marked police vehicle at the side of the road, put its blue lights on and pull in front of you, and you didn't notice those blue lights are on?
No.
Okay. Were you paying duty care and attention to the road? Were you distracted by something?
Yeah.
Yes, you were distracted?
Yeah.
Okay, what were you distracted by?
The fact that I just nearly spun out and crashed the vehicle over some cones.
Okay, just note that down. Okay, so then you've already stated you heard the sergeant tell you to pull over and you continue to drive. That's accurate?
Well, I'm sure the sergeant wouldn't appreciate me stopping in the middle of a junction.
Okay, and you appear to drive through a red light and turn left onto Vespucci Boulevard. Is that correct?
To pull over, yes.
Okay, why did you pass through a red light?
Because I was attempting to pull over at the earliest chance I had.
Would it not have been safe to stop before the red light?
It probably would have been safer if the police officer didn't try to cut me up.
Well, that's beside the point. Would it have been safer to to not go through that red light.
It would have been safer for me to have slowed down and parked up previously if the police officer didn't have manoeuvred the way he did.
Okay. Do you have any lawful exemptions to pass through red lights?
No, I don't think so.
Okie dokie.
And,
Go on, sorry. Apologies.
Unless you can get some sort of approval, I don't know.
Okie dokie. So, moving on, we'll talk about the bus. You said you were attempting to pull into the bus stop by the Fleeker Bank, where's a little lay-by, and to do that you were passed right in front of the bus. Why did you believe that was a safe manoeuvre?
Because originally, in my eyes, there was no bus there, which one of the police officers who arrested me also admitted that there was no bus there. He didn't see one at all. And obviously, I saw the bus as it clipped the back of me.
Okie dokie. So, you maybe not paying attention to the presence of a bus then? Is that accurate?
I think it was a bit of a headache because obviously one of your officers wasn't paying attention if that was the case while he was driving.
Okie dokie. Let's move forwards a bit to when you've got out the car, and it was myself who confronted you and told you that you were under arrest and to put your hands up. Why did you not comply with my instructions?
You didn't really give me a chance. You threw me to the floor.
I reviewed the body one for it. You had 18 seconds between me telling you you're under arrest.
I do object to this as this is the officer that is under the as we are obviously mentioned that we've got a bit of police corruption in this where we do feel that also wrongful use of force as well. As he did
I'm sorry, you're going to have to clarify what the objection is.
So basically, we don't, with the officer being the one that we're putting the claim against about use of force being wrongful, I feel it's unfair that he's been interrogated by the officer that has not given him a chance to comply.
Your Honour, the defence had an opportunity to question the defendants about this. I should have the same. And if there's no issue to do with my use of force, that should go through the police complaints procedure and not through this place.
With regards to the idea that corruption has taken place or misuse of force, those sort of alleged allegations, I can understand that they are an arguable defense to certain actions taken by the police. However, the prosecution does have a right to question the individual on the occurrence in this situation. So with that in mind, even though you may be alleging that the defense or the prosecution has had ill means when going through with their prosecution of the defendant, it's still the case that the things that happened in the prosecution need to be able to be brought up in trial. So you have just like the prosecution has mentioned, the opportunity to bring this up. The defense has a right to cross-examine as a result.
You understand?
Okay.
Okay, Missy. So I'll point out there was 18 seconds between that. Why do you not believe that was enough time for you to comply with my instruction?
I don't believe it was 18 seconds.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Okay, dokie. The last point with regards to the additional charge that was added once you were here. Were you informed this additional charge down in the cells of the courtroom below us?
Down below us, yes.
Yes. Were you informed by myself that you were going to be further arrested for the offence and explained why?
I don't know 100%, so I'm not going to answer that one.
Don't know 100%.
Obviously, I do recall you telling me that was the extra charge, but I don't believe you explained why. I believe you were talking to the other police officers during this as well.
Okay. That's all from myself, Your Honour.
Okay, defense, if you'd like to re-examine.
No, that'd be all, Your Honour.
Okay, thank you. Defense, are there any is there any evidence that you'd like to enter into the court? Defense?
Objection!
No, the evidence. Oh no, we just have a closing statement if that's okay.
Yeah, no, we'll get to that. Okay, that's fine. Let me just double check.
I do just want to. There is some evidence in there added. There's some evidence added in there. Mr. Solar's body one. We have not seen this or been informed of this. We were just told that there was after we obviously came to the court and ready to proceed, he ran downstairs and said that we're adding an extra charge. We've not been able to witness this body worn or anything. As we were coming into this case, we've not been told anything about it.
Prosecution, is there external body worn footage that's being used for this prosecution?
There was
It's
no
not been
body,
entered in.
no body worn footage, but it was entered in before the witness, Sergeant Jones, was entered in good time, so the defence did have plenty of time to do it. It's also attached to the incident report.
So it's attached in this report and it's on the disclosure?
It is, Your Honour.
Your Honour.
Okay, thank you. So, defence, unfortunately, there's your rebuttal to the statement made there.
No.
Oh, lovely. I just need to double check. Can you confirm to me if both incident report numbers are listed on the disclosure as well?
Apologies, Your Honour. Both incident report numbers?
Yeah, so there's two. So there's one record of the custody and then there's one record of the incidents.
Apologies, the custody record is not attached. I will do that now, Your Honour.
Yeah, if you could do that, please. And
What's
that
the number,
should be
please, for
it
the
then.
custody?
It is linked to the main report.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Okay,
Aye.
we'll move on to closing statements then. So if prosecution, you'd like to make a closing statement to the jury.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as you can see, it's quite a clear-cut case before you today. The defendant will be showing the evidence provided to you, and you've heard of the testimony. He did drive at excessive speeds in the area of Legion Square. He did lose control of his vehicle. He did drive through a red traffic light, and he did cut in front of a bus, and then failed to stop for a police officer. That he didn't even notice a police car right in front of him had its blue lights on. The defendant has said himself he was distracted whilst driving, and as such, as you look at this, and you deliberate, you look at the facts, you look at the evidence, and ask that you find the defendant guilty on all charges.
I seem to be popular on social media. Is somebody in the courts parched for food or drink or something? Is that something that's just happened?
Yeah. I need a smoothie.
If I may, Your Honour, I'll go give him something.
Okay, well, if anybody
What's
needs
your
food
number,
or
mate?
drink, we'll get all that to you in the deliberation room once we're finished up here.
522.
Your Honour, I think one of the jurors
Bless.
has popped as well.
Alrighty. Which one are we to?
The one here behind me. It's been going for a little bit though, so
No, is that not the juror that we lost earlier?
negative. No, that's the blue-haired man. He replaced the one that we lost.
Oh, I didn't even know we had a replacement. Okay, right, well. Didn't even see him walk in. Oh, no, I was just inferring that his willingness to leave without any justification required such a manner, but okay. That's fine. I won't cause any issue over it. If he's been gone for quite a while, then unfortunately I'm going to continue on because we've been here nearly an hour and a half, 2 hours, so I'd like to get on with this. Defense, do you have, or apologies, I don't even know why you're sat next to me. Mr. G, you can sit back down.
Okay, I don't mind
Yeah.
staying near mine. If
No,
you
no,
want me
you're
to.
okay. You can
Okay,
sit
okay.
back down, thank you.
Drew, I want to put a case where when you go and look at the footage to take things of what is being put in front of you today, there is footage of misunderstanding of the bike and the car moving and of the AMPR. I feel like the charges that my client is facing are unneeded, considering that they were ready to let him go, but he asked for a solicitor just to come and represent him to make sure everything was okay, that they then proceeded to charge him, and then when we get to the courtroom to then add another charge on him. I feel like this is very unfair on my client, and and that is all we've got to say.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're now going to go into the deliberation room. Jurors, please keep in mind what I presented to you at the very start of this case in your obligations. Now, I have to clarify, because this seems to be a point of contention for a large amount of people, is that if you come forth with a deliberation and you find a defendant either guilty, not guilty, so on and so forth, I hold the utmost power in terms of following through with said guilty or not guilty verdict. So if I find that the jury was not considerate in their deliberation or was biased through any means or lacked the due care which would require a fair deliberation, I will overrule said deliberation and impose my own judgment on the matter. Now, I would not like to do this. It's happened once so far in these jury trials that I have done. But if you could please make sure that you are fair understanding of the law that's going to be presented to you by the constables plus inside, and you do so diligently. Okay, so court's going to be adjourned while the jury deliberates. Feel free to stretch your legs, everybody involved, bar obviously the defendant. You're kind of stuck here. And we'll go inside, okay?
I heard her say he's in blue.
Oh, jurors returning.
Sorry, Judge, I forgot to mention earlier as well that I am raising money for the charity for Staines Community Centre. If that goes for my character.
Thank you for that.
Mate, do you have any food? I'm starving again. Thank you.
Can I subject to that comment on relevance, Your Honour?
It's understood.
No, we're all good.
Can I just say that at the community centre, sorry, that we do advise young children that when they start driving, they do not speed.
Okay, understood. Is it a case that you have relevant experience as a young offender to give such relevance?
That's a bit of a roundabout question because there's a lot of answers to that question.
Okay, well, we'll refrain from it then, and we'll carry on with the proceedings, okay? So court's back in session. So the jury has deliberated on the matter, and the foreman has been chosen. So if the foreman would stand, please. And foreman, have you come to a consensus on your deliberation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, if you would, please.
Alright. We, the jury, have found Mr. Ali G guilty of all charges due to showing no care for his manner of driving and intentionally speeding up when the officer turned on his blue lights and then he tried to make off from the police. Yeah, you watch your mouth, pal. See what happens.
What?
Order in the court.
What?
Okay.
Are you from the west side, bruv?
Can somebody
Lads,
apprehend him,
sit
please?
down.
Bruv, you
Mate, stay where you are,
No,
fella.
don't start. Sit down.
Sit down.
Lads.
Took 2 hours, but it's finally getting interesting.
Oh, I'm so sad, mate.
Don't worry about it. Corrupt.
Mate, do us a favour, just take a seat first, fella.
I'm actually distraught.
Okay. Thank you for your deliberation. The court finds justification in the jury's deliberation. And as a result, the court will indeed impose the maximum sentence which is allocated for the charges that be, which consists of a 30-month sentence in Bolingbroke Prison and 3 points allocated to your driver's license.